days after the assassination, Life magazine bought the infamous Zapruder film. Its moving images were not shown to the American public for 12 years.
The most obvious thing you extract from the film is that the head moves backward, and that suggests a shot from the right front.
It is unknown exactly what the film suggested to the members of the Warren Commission, since their report failed to even mention Kennedy's violent reaction to the headshot.
In a position that was closer than anybody else, just from by happenstance, that allowed me to look for some period of time at the president's head wound, probably 18 to 20 inches away from it. Dr. Perry, who was enlarging the wound in the neck to do the tracheostomy, told me that the small wound in the neck looked like an entrance wound. The head wound that I saw was a very large wound in the right posterior part of the head.
Well, where did you think the shots had come from? What did you think?
But I think, even then, that I would have thought that this was certainly an exit wound in the back of the head, and that therefore the shot must have come from the front.
I was beginning to see a face here. What really caught my eye was this upside down stripe here. I couldn't figure out what that could have been. So I was looking a little closer. So that's a little closer up of that image right here. As you can see, this is on the this is picked up on television as they zoomed in on the Mormon photo. This was in a book, double page enlargement. So you get the gist of it. I was looking there, and let's take him now. Here's some of the images I've extracted from that. How about a colorized version? It's very curious that you'd have two images like that found in this one photograph. And not only that, but an image like that also. Now, anyone who thinks of the lights and shadows, there's always a possibility of lights and shadows, but those are the damnedest lights and shadows I've ever seen. And now these are some of the images I took many, many years ago, 40 years ago almost. Close-ups of the Grassy Knoll area where the president was shot. Now some people can claim these are just lights and shadows, but some people claim a lot of
Kennedy
things.
was first wounded.
All I can tell you is these are just pure magnification.
Photo analyst Bobby Hunt.
It is a black shape, apparently the head and shoulders of a man. In the region of what we'd call the face, there was some pink tones, purported to be flesh tones. And there was also an object which looked like a rifle with a flash suppressor or a nozzle on the rifle. But we concluded that this was a human being. That conclusion was derived from the enhancement and from some color.
That's their close-up. This is my close-up.
Flesh tones of the object. We did not conclude, however, that that was a rifle. We simply said it was consistent with a blur induced by the motion of the photograph.
I viewed the autopsy pictures. They had the frontal part of the cerebrum here in the skull.
Another one of my close-ups
So
was found many years ago.
You think they pulled the skin back up over this wound?
That's the only thing I can postulate, because the back of his head was gone. This was
They claim there was a big hole in the top of the head.
9 to 10 centimeters across.
When we zoom in on the Mormon photo, we see something different here. Right where the Dallas doctors described it.
Large hole is at the front of the head. See something else. This is just almost a personal a question. Are you
So what we're dealing with here is just pure forgery of the autopsy.
At President Kennedy somewhere from the front?
Yes.
Are you equally comfortable, or are you not comfortable with the notion that there is forgery of some sort in the official documents of this?
I feel there probably is. I certainly could not be, held down to saying exactly how that is, or even approximately how it is, perhaps. But I feel
what they always have claimed, this looks like an exit wound.
Some kind of attempt to cover up what was going on.
It came from a fence between the book depository and the railroad track.
From behind the overpass over there, triple overpass.
Right over about 20 or 30 feet from the other end of that little picket fence.
And it sounded like it came from the left and in front of us, towards the wooden fence. And there was a puff of smoke that came underneath the trees.
We all four seen about the same thing as the shot. The smoke came from behind the hedge.
And then as the car got directly in front of us, well, a gunshot apparently from behind us hit the president side of the temple.
Do you think the first gunshot came from behind you too?
I think it came from the same location. Apparently back up on the mall.
I can find that one again. Well, anyways, here's an even more extreme close-up. Let me see if I move that in a little. Now, this is very curious that at that distance, I mean, it's picking up this.
Oh, 3 or 4.
I had been panning shots through here so that I could get whatever was going to come down the street. And I saw that it was the President of the United States. And as I was...
Now, Gordon Arnold, here's his story here. He claimed he was on leave, and he went to the parade to watch the President. He claims he was standing on the sidewalk between the fence and the wall, the grassy knoll, with his camera filming the motorcade. He heard gunshots, reports, and he hit the dirt. Now also in the Jack White, Gary Mack close-ups of the Mormon photo, this is what they claim is Arnold here to back up his story.
Panning down this direction. Just as I got to about this position, a shot come right past my left ear. And that meant it would have had to come from this direction.
And now, I've also found an image on that, on some of the photos of the Grassy Knoll. Also, Senator Yarborough was driving with Vice President Johnson in the motorcade, and as their car, there were 2 cars back. As they, my eye was tracked to the right, and I saw the man jump about 10 feet like an old-time tackle in football, land against the wall. He also thought he smelled gunpowder near the Grassy Knoll and yelled, "My God, they've shot the President." And and Arnold says he hit the dirt. Now here's a close-up I've found. Between the fence, the side steps is her hair. And this is the image I found. And it looks to me like Gordon Arnold hit the dust. Hit the dirt. And if what he says is true, and that's him there, or the other image, that alone would prove conspiracy. Well,
and we turned and hit the ground and covered our children. But when the third shot was fired, I thought it came from directly behind towards the Grassy Knoll behind me. I based that primarily on the third shot from what I saw of the side of the president's head coming off and from the sound of the rifle, the report of the rifle.
I will always believe that the man that shot President Kennedy was standing somewhere in the picket fence area, and no one will ever convince me any differently.
It doesn't make sense to be hit from the rear and still have your face intact.
Well, I am very dead certain at least one shot, including the one that took the president's skull off, had to come from the right front. And I'll stand by that to my death over my mother's grave.